Welcome back, everyone. So last time we compared the factory Mopar fan clutch to the Ford aftermarket fan clutch that I installed in this Jeep, and we found out there really wasn't a whole lot of difference. Well, I also spoke about checking out parts and testing the difference between the factory parts and the aftermarket parts. This time what I decided to do is we're going to take a look at the thermostats and the thermostat housing. In my Jeep, these two parts are actually aftermarket from a parts store. They're not the factory part, so I figured let's go ahead and test them out and see what happens. So I have the factory parts here. Let's start by taking this apart and draining the radiator. We'll get the new parts installed and we'll test it and see what happens. All right, so we'll just get this guy off real quick and stab the new one back on. Before we do though, we are going to compare the differences between this housing and the thermostat that's in there. I want to see if there actually is any difference. I imagine, like most people, most normal people who go through their lives, when they have a problem with their car, they run to a parts warehouse and grab up the parts they need. And that's exactly what I did, just like any other person. So we're gonna see, is the OEM factory parts really any different than the aftermarket parts you get at a parts store? All right, here we go. Take a look at that piece. Let's get the, probably like anything else, I think this gasket is going to be really stuck on here. But I have some tools I think that'll help us. So there it is, there's the aftermarket thermostat. Let's compare. Okay, so obviously this is the new one, this is the old one. I went ahead and took the temperature sending unit out just so that we could take a look and see the differences here. But right from the beginning, I noticed that the Mopar one on my right, that's actually a little bit heavier. The other thing that I noticed too is if we take a look on the inside and look at this shape of this hole in here, this guy is round and this guy's got this V in here. So they're not actually the same, and that's quite interesting to me. This one's more of like a sharper point down here at the bottom. This one's just a round, so I don't know that that would make any difference. As far as the opening and everything goes, all of that is the same. This casting is a little cleaner looking. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of difference. One other difference too, and I know this because I've done this on another Jeep, is the angle of these spouts right here, where your tubes connect. They're slightly different, very slightly different, and that also might make some difference as well. Okay, so here are the thermostats. And as you can see, the one on my right is the new one, the factory one. The one on the left is the old one. And one thing is that it doesn't have this little bleeder up here, which is important for air in these engines. I mean, obviously this one's darkened because it's older, but another thing I noticed, let me see if I can get you zoomed in here so you can take a look at it. See this top piece right here? There is actually a height difference in how those are mounted up in there. The factory one has more of a distance between that top supporting hoop than the aftermarket one. Does that make a difference? I don't know. Kind of leads me to believe that this one would open more than this one would. I'm thinking that this one doesn't open as much. So that might be part of my problem with the Jeep running hot. Okay, well, those are the differences that I see. Let's get it back together and then we'll run it and actually see if there is a real difference or not. All right, to get this gasket off, I'm gonna use this gasket scraper. Word of caution, if you have an aluminum block, I would not recommend using this. It's essentially a razor blade. These are cast iron, so I think this will be okay. Actually, no, it'll be okay because I've used it before, but you still have to be careful. You don't want to gouge the block. So a very critical area is right here along this edge. That is where your thermostat actually seats. And sometimes if you have crud there, like it's right there right now, these won't seat all the way. And you'll have quite a big problem, quite a big leak. I know, I've done it before. So we're just gonna come in here and make sure that that's nice and clean. Appears to be pretty clean. We're gonna use one more thing here. Come in here with a wire brush. Last thing is, I'm gonna wipe it down with a little bit of brake clean here. That way we know we got it all nice and clean. We know all the mating surfaces are wiped down. There's not any little junk on there. Now, I do have a trick for filling these things up and getting the air out. If you've ever seen one of these things before, these are super cool. They're called no spill, they're called spill-free funnels. A bunch of different companies make them. I'll leave a link to this one. This is my favorite. This one's brand new. I left the one that I had with my dad so he could have one, but these things are super sweet. It makes filling the radiators up and getting the air out of them a breeze. I don't think there's any better system, honestly, for the price. It's like 30 to 40 bucks or something like that. But basically what you do is take your radiator cap off, and it comes with all these parts and instructions. But basically you find the cap that fits your system. Okay, ours is that one. Now I can't get it off. Okay, so ours is gonna be that one most likely. And then you find one of these guys that just fit inside here and that they're gonna seal. I believe it is that one. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Nope, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here. Oh, maybe it's not that one. Let's see. There we go. Yep, okay, it is that one. I just didn't have it turned all the way. And then take all the rest of your parts out because you won't need them. It has this cool plunger too, so if you put too much fluid in here and you're done, you can just pop your plunger in and take this away and pour it back in its container. Super convenient. So that's what we're gonna do. And now we're gonna fill it, and then I'm gonna show you a cool trick after we're done filling it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, it's kind of done self-burping. You can grab here and you can burp it by hand if you want. Or what you can do with this system, which is neat, is you can leave a little bit of fluid right there. And you can actually start the vehicle and it'll push the air out on its own without overfilling, as long as you don't put too much fluid in here. So let's do that.
Now, of course, in the moment.
All right, we are at 210 degrees. Let's start the test. Let's see how long it takes to get the 225 if it gets there. Okay, so as you can see, we still hit 225. It appears at first glance that it took longer to hit 225 than it did last time with a similar test. That just means we're gonna have to dive deeper. Okay, so those are the test results, and those are the differences between the aftermarket thermostat and housing and the factory thermostat and housing. And honestly, I'm not sure I'm ever going to go with aftermarket parts again, but we're not done with this yet. We're going to keep doing this until I solve the heat issue, and we're going to keep doing this until I get every other aftermarket part out of the vehicle, because honestly, I think it's fun just to take a look at the differences between the two. It's going to take a little bit of time. Factory parts are expensive, but they seem to be better quality so far, and we'll find out in the future if that holds true. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.